Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of my best packing tips and tricks that I've learned over the years and share them with you in order for you to pack efficiently on your next trip away from home. I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite travel accessories that I like to bring with me, all the must-haves that I have to bring in order for me to travel efficiently and comfortably. So stay tuned. So when I'm traveling, I like to divide my makeup, my hair care, and my skincare into 3 separate bags. So this is my skincare is in here, and I don't have much, but sometimes like your moisturizers and your face wash can be too big to take with you into the carry-on, so I end up packing it separately. And the reason why I like to put them separately is because this has special compartments for everything, and I just make sure that nothing breaks. Usually our serums, sometimes our face wash or our moisturizers come in glass packaging, and this is just a good way to keep everything compact. And I usually just wrap it around with a sweater just to make sure it's extra safe, or like a long sleeve or jeans to have it nice and snug in my suitcase. And then my makeup, I just bring in a pouch like this, or anything works, because my makeup always comes with me into my carry-on. I feel like it's much easier that way. There's a lot of powders, eyeshadow palettes that you may have, like lip crayons and things like that, foundations, and I feel like if I have them with me, it's just a much lower chance of them breaking along the way or getting damaged. So I always like to keep them in my carry-on. And when I pack my makeup, there's not that much in here. I'll go through some of it with you, but I bring my absolute must-have. So I bring makeup that I know that I'm gonna use, and makeup that I usually wear on a daily basis. Like, I definitely don't bring every eyeshadow palette that I have. I don't bring like 4 or 5 bronzers. It's usually one of each thing, but my absolute favorite thing. So some of the things that I have for makeup are, so for example, for eyeshadow, I only bring one palette, I guess you could say, but for me it's the Westman Atelier iPods. And the reason why I love them is because these are so easy to travel with. The colors are perfect. It's all I need. There's like a lighter shade in here and 2 of bronzy kind of brown shades, which are my favorite. And I just do really well with those. They're magnetic. I like that they don't come in a plastic palette, which you just open and close. So these stay put very well. And then I bring a primer, because when you're traveling, sometimes you just go out in the morning and you end up coming back really late, and I like for my makeup to stay put. I bring 1 contour, and this has a highlighter in it as well. That's the Tom Ford shade in Illuminate. I absolutely love that palette. 1 setting powder, a couple of lip liners and lip products, because that's something that I like to switch up. 1 mascara, 1 blush, like 1 eyelash curler, and 1 foundation. So 1 of everything is perfectly fine for me. Plus, I am going to be doing lots of shopping on this trip, so I don't feel like I need like an abundance of everything. But if this was a trip where I wouldn't be doing any shopping and I would kind of just be left with this makeup, I would perfectly be okay with that. And that's why I recommend packing all your favorite things and packing efficiently. And the same thing goes for skincare. Like, for example, here I have 1 eye cream, I have 2 of my favorite serums, and I have 1 moisturizer, 2 makeup removers. So I have a micellar water and a face wash. I always have my Blistex, and I am carrying the Cicaplast balm, because after travel your skin does tend to dry out a lot. And as you can see, I'm almost through this product. And those are the products that I like to bring on my trip too. So if I have a moisturizer and I could see that I'm running out, but it'll last me that time that I'm on my trip, I think it's a great opportunity to bring it along with you and actually finish that product, instead of bringing like a million different things and then having to pack those and go back home with those. So this, I know that I will finish on my trip and just end up tossing it out there. And then the same thing with my eye cream. I'm almost through this one, so I feel like that will finish on my trip too. And then as far as face washes and makeup removers, like the sample sizes that you get at Sephora, you know, those ones for 100 points, or sometimes they just give you samples with your order. I love to bring those on vacation with me. Like I make it a point to save those for when I go away because they're just so efficient. If you're going on a shorter trip, perhaps 2 to 3 days, and they give you samples of a moisturizer or a serum that you'd like to try, like that's perfect to bring with you. And then it's very easy to pack and bring back. So to remove my makeup, I'm bringing a micellar water. I feel like this is easy to pack. You also don't have to worry about bringing like an oil cleanser unless it's in the tub because you really want to avoid any spillage. So this is perfect. And then I have one of my favorite cleansers. This is the Kate Somerville, the Daily Foaming Wash. And you can see I have just about half left. So I'll definitely be finishing this on my trip. And I've used this actually for travel before and brought it back with me. But this is so easy to pack instead of taking the big one with you. And then I usually just bring some essentials, especially if I'm going away for over a week. I'll bring like a nail filer, tweezers, a little pair of scissors, in case I need to trim my brows and things like that. And that's everything. And another thing that I would like to mention is I always keep my makeup brushes separate. So I have like one of these flappy things that you can put all the makeup brushes into. I've used this before. I got this with a Sephora brush set, but I'll just put my makeup brushes separately and throw that in my carry-on as well. And the reason why I like to keep them separate is because I feel like once you arrive at your destination, it's just so much easier to have your brushes separate rather than be like picking through this thing or something like this and have it be all mixed with your makeup. I feel like this is really nice because you just open it up and then you have everything on display, and these little bands keep your makeup brushes separated really nicely, and I'll fill that in as well. I also like to wash all my makeup brushes before I bring them on a trip with me, and I have washed mine already. They're just drying and I'm gonna pack them in here after. And the reason why I like to do that is sometimes when you're on vacation, maybe you're not thinking about washing your makeup brushes, but I like to bring them super clean with me, make sure that they're dust free and keep them really clean in a binder, like a brush holder like this, because it just keeps everything very organized and it prevents your makeup brushes from getting super dirty, which is very important to me. So for hair care, I like to keep it separate in a Ziploc bag like this. I feel like this is very efficient, and in case there's spillage of anything, this is why I like to keep everything separated so not a bunch of things get ruined. And I only bring the essentials. So I'm using a hair curler because I don't style my hair too much on vacation, and I feel like this is really easy. You just scrunch it into damp hair and you're ready to go. And then I'm bringing my this is the all-in-one milk. It's the leave-in conditioner. I love this stuff, so that's definitely coming with me. I use that all the time. And then for a hair oil, I have the Moroccan oil treatment, and see, this comes in another mini that I saved as well, and again, perfect for the trip. And then I have a few products from Diptyque. So I have a shower gel. Even if I'm staying in a hotel, like sometimes you don't know what they're gonna have, and I always have to bring like my own moisturizer and shampoo because I just prefer my products more. So I have a body lotion from Diptyque, I have a shower gel, and I have a shampoo. And I like to keep those in a closed zip bag separately just to make sure that they don't mix with any of the other stuff. And I do this a lot when I'm traveling. It's just very easy to pack. There's no spillage. And if you're bringing anything back that's like a little damp or wet, so maybe you've had your shower gel in the shower and you're not finished that product, you want to take it back home with you, it's just a nice way to keep it away from all your other stuff and keep it organized. Now, speaking of clothes, I like to bring a few bottoms that I'm going to be wearing, along with for each bottom about 2 to 3 tops. And I just keep those 2 to 3 tops for those bottoms because I feel like you're switching out your tops a lot, and it's nice to have those options for me. I really care about that. So I usually try on my outfits beforehand. That way you know that yes, I feel comfortable in this, I feel like I look good in this, and I would want to wear this while I'm away. And that way your trip just ends up being a lot less stressful, and you're just really happy when you're away. You know exactly what you're gonna wear, and you have all of those things pre-planned. Another piece of advice that I would like to give is to make a list of all those things that you know that you need to bring with you that you may forget. So for example, if you're traveling to a different country and their electricity is different, then for you to bring a converter with you, for you to bring any chargers with you that you may need, any filming supplies, for example, or any things like that that you may forget. I like to write them down as I'm preparing for the trip, and then I just kind of go over my list and I make sure that I have everything on hand, so you're not running around last minute and trying to put all those things together. Another piece of advice that I would like to give is I wear all the bulky clothes that I'm going to be carrying with me on my flight. So for example, for this trip, I am going to be needing to take a tracksuit with me. So I'm going to be wearing that hoodie and those track pants on me during the flight. That way, because they take up a lot of space, and it's just a nice way for me to get it out of the way. So I put that on myself as well as my bulkiest shoes. So if I have shoes, running shoes with like a thicker platform, or those that just take up a little bit more space, I like to put those on me as well, just to get rid of that excess weight in my carry-on. I would also recommend packing for any events that you may have for your trip. So if you know that there's a special occasion, perhaps a birthday party, a wedding, anything that you might be going to, I like to pack specifically for that event separately. So if I know I'm going to be going out for a fancy dinner or something like that, I just like to pack that exact outfit, those pair of shoes in advance. That way I'm not scrambling to look for things to wear the last minute, and you just feel, you know, very just out of it looking to put all these outfits together. So I like to pre-plan that as well. And my last tip would be to pack medicine with you when you're going away, whether that's a long trip or a short trip. You know, sometimes you are traveling to a foreign country, for example, and they speak a different language. You don't know what kind of medicine they have. Perhaps you have an allergy to something. So I usually like to pack some Advil with me, maybe some Tylenol, and I'm traveling with a toddler, so I definitely always pack all medicine that she may need for her separately. And I do the exact same thing for that. I go ahead and place that in a Ziploc and pack it separately in my luggage. That way, if I do need it, then it is there for me. And I like to take, as I mentioned, an Advil. I like to take something to help reduce a fever if you end up getting sick, and an antihistamine in case somebody has an allergy to something. And I used to travel with a bag like this that you just throw over your shoulder or hold in your hand while you're traveling, but this gets so heavy. I mean, it's still great if you're traveling for maybe the weekend or a week, and especially if you're traveling like without a baby. I'm traveling with my toddler, and I feel like this just gets so heavy once it's filled up to the top. So for me, a more efficient way now is I just have the luggage that's smaller on rollers, and first I feel like that fits a lot more, and everything just ends up being a lot more organized. And I like to take that with me because I can separately put in my shoes. I don't like to pack too many shoes into my check-in bag. I like to keep all of that on my carry-on. And then other smaller purses that I'll be wearing on the trip, I like to keep those in my carry-on, my makeup. So I feel like everything in there stays a lot more organized, and because you're rolling it, you don't feel the weight of it as much, where this just gets so heavy and bulky that I don't always end up taking this on trips with me. Like I said, if it's a short trip, or you know, I'm going away for like the weekend, then I can fit all my things in here and I just travel out of this, and then that way I feel like it's fine. So that is my advice to you. I always feel like you should bring something that's a little lighter to carry your things in. Like I feel like even a backpack would be more comfortable. This just gives a lot of weight on one side of my shoulder. And if it's a long trip, I feel like I just get really uncomfortable after a while. And that's why I prefer to have the mini luggage instead. So that is it, you guys. That is my short and sweet packing trip advice. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that some of these tips were useful to you and you implement them into your packing in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.